John, fantastic to see you here. Thank you very much for agreeing to spend some time with us. I'd like to take you back, if I can, 1966. Great summer for English football, obviously great summer for Boro fans as well, because we signed the legendary John Hickton. Just your memories, if you can, of coming up to Teesside and signing for Middlesbrough.
Well, it's very nice of you. When I previous club, Sheffield Wednesday, I had a choice after when I left there. They'd just been in the cup final and they lost to Everton 3-2, and I should have played centre half that game, and I was disappointed that I missed a FA Cup final. So that's when I left Sheffield Wednesday, and I had a choice. I could have gone to Norwich or Middlesbrough, and the reason I chose Middlesbrough because it's a World Cup ground, Ayresome Park, fantastic support and a great stadium. And it's hotbed of football in those days. It used to be Middlesbrough, Newcastle and Sunderland, you know, and that sort of what dragged me to the borough. And Dan Anderson actually signed me, came down to Sheffield Wednesday and signed me. And the first game was against Workington Town. Played centre half. We're 2-0 down in the 5 minutes. And the centre forward I was playing against scored 2 goals. So I thought, what have I let myself in for it?
I was going to say that game you debut, you said, you know, their striker scored 2 against you, but it was also the first time we saw a John Hickton penalty, which I think would become pretty legendary around these parts.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. We got a penalty. Nobody wanted to take it basically, so I just stepped up and said, I'll take it, and you know, we scored. And then in the second half, Arthur Horsfield scored 2 goals, and we actually won the game 3-2. And from that moment, we're actually just about bottom of the league, you know, the old 3rd division. And it went great success after that. We'd win after win, and we actually got promotion that season behind Queen's Park Rangers.
Because that was our first season as a club in the 3rd division. So obviously, when you're coming in and as you say, we were at the bottom of the table, it was a big deal really. But to have that sort of momentum and turn it round, and the last game of the season where we beat Oxford 4-1, John O'Rourke gets a hat-trick, you know, a fantastic end to your first season at Middlesbrough.
Oh yeah, you couldn't make it up really, you know, it's a dream, you know, to win promotion in your first season at the club, and I think that's why, you know, people remember it, because it was a good season. You don't often get promotion.
No. You came in playing defence as well, so could you ever imagine that you would become, after that season, I think you were top scorer for the next 6 after that, could you ever imagine that sort of turnaround?
For Sheffield Wednesday, I did play centre forward. I played 50 games and scored 21 goals for Sheffield Wednesday. So the first game was my last game as a centre half at Middlesbrough. I was immediately converted to a centre forward. I had number 2 on my back, but I played as a centre forward with John O'Rourke, if you remember John O'Rourke, and Arthur Horsfield. We played at 3 strikers basically in them days, and 2 wingers, which I used to love, you know, to have 2 wingers playing, where most goals come from in those days, you know, get to the byline and pull it back and somebody going in there.
Yeah, those seasons you were getting 25, 30 goals consistently in the 2nd division, but it just wasn't quite, you know, understand Anderson, this is not quite enough to get us up to the 1st division at that point.
Yeah, it actually took a long time. I don't think there was a lot of money at the football club to spend on new players. I mean, when I joined, we bought 3 players. We bought John O'Rourke, that season I signed, bought David Chadwick, a winger, and myself. They sold Ian Gibson, I believe, for quite a lot of money. And with that money, they bought us three players. And that made the difference that season, because it really worked. John O'Rourke scored a lot of goals as well.
Your goal scoring exploits obviously quickly made you a fan favourite. You had a really good relationship with the fans at the Holgate at Ayresome Park.
It was very nice. I mean, for me, Middlesbrough's, you know, a top. I always strove to be the best, and for me, Middlesbrough were the best. You know, it's a well-run club. They're well organised, and they're always, you know, pushing to do better, which I tried to do myself, you know, in my career.
I think some of as I mentioned that I was speaking to my dad about before I did this interview, one of the things that stuck in the mind for him, I think, was the FA Cup matches against Manchester United, you know, a legendary Manchester United team, and you scored in both legs, and we were unlucky not to get past them.
Yeah, well, that's one of my best memories, one of the best goals I scored against Man United. Yeah. I think I got one at Liverpool as well, you know, in front of the Kop, which was an achievement as well.
Just moving ahead a bit to sort of 1973, Jack Charlton comes into the club. What was Jackie like?
Jack was, I respected him because he was a World Cup winner, which is not many World Cup winners in English football. His knowledge of football was fantastic, and he knew how to get a team to play as a team. And that year, what we did, we played as a team. There wasn't any stars really. We all played, you know, together. We all had a job to do, and we all did it. You know, we had Graham Souness, you know, a great player for me, one of the best ever, and Bobby Murdoch, Scottish international, David Armstrong, England international, Jim Platt in goals, Irish international. You go on, John Craggs, you know, Stuart Bowen, Willie Madron. We had a fantastic team. Alan Foggan, David Mills. You know, it could go on forever. A great team.
Another season like your first one, it was a bit of a slow burner. You know, I think it's right. We won the first game of the season, lost at Fulham, and there was 3-0 draws after that. But you know, soon the wheels started turning, and you know, you didn't stop, I suppose. Yeah.
Defensively, we were very good. We were basically a counter-attacking team that season. Jack really got the defence organised. Well, it was a great defence. They didn't concede a lot of goals, but we actually scored a lot of goals. So you know, it perfect plan. And Jack was great. He used to get what he wanted, and you had to do it or you're out to the side, simple as that.
By this point in your career, you're not as much of an out-and-out goal scorer. You're more like linking up the play and providing goals as well, so there's maybe a little bit more to your game by this point. Well,
you just did your job. You know, my job was to score goals, and you tried your best to do it. That season, I didn't actually score a lot of goals because he had me running wide and doing different things, you know, for the team. Alan Foggan used to burst through the middle. He scored a lot of goals that season as well. You know, it's perfect plan and a great team, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And you went on a run of 9 wins in a row, which is still a club record, a record points total at the time for the second division. So that, you know, the stuff of legend, really. Yeah.
Well, that's nice to say that because you know, for me it's just basically a job. You know, it's but a job you enjoy. You're lucky to play football. There are not many players, well, people actually make it as a footballer, and it's a great career to be in. I mean, it's even better nowadays, you know, with the status they get, you know, in the country. It's, but I've really enjoyed my time at Middlesbrough. Fantastic fans, fantastic area, and it's, you know, good, happy memories.
It's fitting that we're playing Sheffield Wednesday today. Obviously, your old club, but at the end of that season as well, we were already promoted and we beat them 8-0, and that's probably one of the most memorable occasions for Boro fans of that era. What do you remember of that day?
Well, Sheffield Wednesday, I mean, I wasn't sad to leave because they didn't play me in the cup final. That's the reason. So I just like Middlesbrough to win. So when we won 8-0, it's a fantastic result, isn't it? Not many sides can say they've won 8-0, and against the old club, which basically you shouldn't wish it, but it happened, and that's it. It's football.
I think I'm right in saying that you scored in every single game you played against Sheffield Wednesday after you'd left them, so certainly show them wrong. But
there's no malice anyway. No.
So yeah, obviously an incredible season of Jack Charlton. We get promoted to the first division. The first game against Birmingham City, you score the first goal. Probably from your point of view, an overdue appearance in the first division, and what a start for you.
Yeah, that's Sheffield Wednesday. When I actually joined them, they were second in the league behind Tottenham. You know, they're a first division club. They're fantastic. And I came to Middlesbrough, and they're the third division. People couldn't understand why I came to Middlesbrough, but actually, as it worked out, it was brilliant to move because you know, what we wanted to do was to get back to the first division. It took a long time. You know, we had probably 9 seasons it took us to get there, but gradually throughout the season it got better and better. And then Jack came, and he finally did the jigsaw bit and fitted everything together, and it finished up brilliant.
And the team took to the top division like a duck to water, really. You know, I think it was 7th place in the first season there. Was there a feeling as well that, you know, you could have maybe gone on and got major silverware with the club at that time?
Well, all the players said if they bought another centre forward instead of me, they would have gone up, but they couldn't buy anybody. Yeah. By that time, I was towards the end of my career, and I probably did a season or a bit more, and then I went to America.
And obviously, you know, the legacy that you've got there. I think it's fourth highest goal scorer of Middlesbrough's all-time history, third time appearance maker. To look back on those 10 years at the club, just an incredible story, really.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, it's what the dreams are made of, isn't it? You know, basic. From the ashes to glory, marvellous. What a great club. I'd love to see them. You know, for me, it's the best club in the world. Nobody better than the Boro. And every Saturday, you know, look for that result. Middlesbrough.
And obviously great to see you back on Teesside today. I think I'm right in saying when it was April time, you know, you had the diagnosis of skin cancer, obviously sad news that came through. Us on social media and on our website, the number of messages we got from supporters wishing you all the very best. I'm sure you got as many as well. That connection that you still have with the Middlesbrough fans obviously must have helped you.
Yeah, it makes me very proud to, you know, so many messages. Last evening we were to do, and they actually presented me with all the messages that I got from that stage of my existence, and you know, it's very touching. It's very nice. You know, people care so much, and you know, I'm very proud of that.
And great to see you at the Riverside today. Hopefully meet a few more of your fans, and you know, you're looking tremendously well, and it was great to speak to you.
Thanks very much, and I hope we win 8-0 today.
We'll take another one of those. Thank you very much.